Okay, good morning and welcome back. I hope you can hear me. It's very windy, it's raining, the weather is terrible. We've decided to go out for a bit of a drive. And I thought I'd stop here and show you, so I'll put the link in the bottom, but I did stop at this. This was a broken bridge video. This bridge collapsed with a car, well, with two cars on it. There was a red van that was just parked on it for over a year afterwards. That was washed away this winter. And now 2 years later, although it still looks amazing, you see the bits of road falling in, you can see that it's starting to build a new bridge. The first pylons are in, it's there, and it will be redone. But other than that, that's the river's looking wonderful, beautiful colours, the greens and everything. It's just a shame that it's raining so much, because it's a bit boring for the kids being locked indoors all day. We thought we'd go out for a drive, go and see some things, and that's what we're going to do now. And I'll just keep you updated, and then maybe this afternoon I'll be able to at least tidy up the building site or do a little bit more work. So this is Lerici, which I filmed a few times before. One of my favourite little spots, about 40 minutes away from the house. Little harbour over there. I just love coming down to the water. It doesn't matter if it's raining or if the sun is shining, I just love coming down here. I miss the sea enormously. In Innsbruck we have the mountains, which are great, but it's still not the same thing. You can see how organised they are. They have one side to walk in that direction and the other side to walk in this direction. Everything's set up for, hopefully, an excellent summer season. So I'm going to drive around there now, and then we'll head back up towards Sarzana and go and have some lunch. And here is the main course. As you all know, a bit of a soft spot for rawish meat, and they do it very well here, the beef. We're just waiting for the risotto. And there we go, the end of another delicious, filling lunch. Time to head back up to the house and see if we can't do a little bit more in the bedroom before we go back to Austria tomorrow morning. Well, it's still raining. I've put the golf back up under its tree where it'll stay for the next 2 weeks till I come back out. I'm not sure if we'll all be coming out again next time. It'll depend mostly on the weather. And now, in the mid-afternoon, after an excellent lunch, I'm going to get on and see if I can get at least a couple of the smaller tasks done. And then it'll be time for another aperitivo. So, there we go. It's a shame that it's raining. I mean, it would be fine in summer if it rains for a couple of hours, but this has been raining since last night, all through the night, all day. It's going to rain all day tomorrow. It looks like it's going to rain all week in Innsbruck, so it's a bit boring, really. Anyway, let's just get on with what's at hand. Okay, so finally back on the job. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fit the horizontal rails to the top, which the ceiling rails will slide into or slot into, and then I can do above the door because that'll fit together. So it is, as someone said in the comments, it's a proper Meccano puzzle, but we're definitely getting there. And having run most of what needs to be behind all of this, it's been very useful. So now, as I said, I'm going to get that in on both sides, and then we'll put in the horizontals and screw them to the ceiling as well, so that they're supported left, right, and in the middle. So as always, it's just a question of getting the first one in straight. As you can see, we are straight, well, we're level. So I started with one screw over there, and then came over here and fitted that screw there. So it's pretty sturdy stuff. We'll put in the remaining screws, and then we'll cut a horizontal across for that end and one for this end, and set everything up on this side. The height we've gone for is 251, so 250 plus the little overlap where we'll get the 2 bits of plasterboard to meet. 250 is your general ceiling height. If you take off 13 millimeters or 12.5 millimeters for the plasterboard, then we're at 248.7 or 0.7, and that's perfect. Gives us room above here to run the air evacuation pipe, so that we can get rid of any humidity that would come from having a shower, or any bad smells from, well, I don't need to end that sentence really, do I? So let's get the last screws in there and get the other one set up, and then you'll see what the ceiling will look like. Okay, well, they're now in and straight. This is what the ceiling will then screw onto these, and we'll be having them all the way down. It stops here. So separate ceiling for both sides, because we needed the structural rigidity of this wall to go all the way up to the top. Which leaves us now with, to the side of the door, above the door, then fill in all the spaces on the ceiling. These aren't fixed yet, just left and right. They'll have to be fixed at the end. But once we've got the ceiling in, and around the door, I can probably start, and I would imagine that the first sheet of board is going to be this one here, and we'll start there and go across and do this back wall on the wall first, and then we can set this up so this will then screw into that wall. I'll put another reinforcement in behind there, so we'll have to trim off a little bit at the top on the ceiling so that it comes up against that, because obviously this is a little bit wider than the plasterboard, not much. Once that's on, then we'll probably end up doing this wall on the inside. This will be going through as well. We want to keep as much rigidity here as possible, so on this side obviously we're going to have plasterboard on both sides. This will only have inside plasterboard, and I've got some acoustic insulation that goes in here as well, so that you won't hear as much from the shower or from the loo in the bedroom. Obviously the shower's open, so it's not going to make a huge amount of difference, but might as well do that. Yeah, so now it really is, it's just lots of little fiddly bits, and then making sure that we get the plasterboard on in the right order. And I think starting over here, obviously that pipe isn't supposed to be there, that pipe stops in the middle there. Starting over here is probably the best point, but I don't know if we'll get that done this trip. What I would like to do this trip is to get everything ready for the plasterboard. It might have been a little bit optimistic bringing all the plasterboard, but hey, it's here now. So I'm just going to get on and put as much metalwork as I can together in the most logical order and get as much fixed as possible around the door, around the ceiling, so that we can really get on next time, next time, and screw everything together. And there we go, so ceilings all the way across will give extra rigidity here and there. So nothing much has actually been fixed yet. I've just cut everything to the right size, so it's still a big puzzle. I need to go about there so that I can screw plasterboard to it from both sides. We've got the frame here to support the door, and the lip there will match with the lip here. So in theory, just a little bit of plasterboard through there, and we'll skim across the top. So that'll make it look like it's a bit more supposed to be there than just a plasterboard box in the middle of the room. So, well, we're definitely getting there, but we're definitely not there yet. Yes. Okay, well that's about it for today. That's going to be about it for this trip. It's great having the family and kids here, and you get up to much more stuff and you see things and we go and play, and but it does mean getting less done obviously here on the project. It's not 8 till 6, it's sort of 9 till 10, and then 12 till 2, and then 4 till 6 or something, you know. So, but still, we got a lot of fiddly, horrible stuff done, stuff that's annoying and time-consuming, but it's done now and it looks good. I'm happy with the way the wastewater, I'm happy with the way the freshwater has been laid. The electricity's fine too. So I think now, tomorrow morning I'll just tidy up, lay this flat so that it doesn't warp while I'm away, and hopefully back in 2 weeks' time, with or without, we'll see. If the kids want to come, it'll depend again on the weather, I suppose. But definitely getting there. Very happy actually, and I think it's going to look great. I think this room is going to be wonderful, and I really have my heart set on this room being completely finished for a proper summer vacation. We want to spend at least 3 weeks here like we did last year, and by then I really want us to be sleeping in this room. So we've still got a lot ahead of us. I have to obviously finish this, put the plasterboard on it, finish the electrics, get the paint off the beams, insulate the ceiling, replaster, well, knock off the plaster and then replaster everything, change the window, change the panes in the door and redo the door. So yeah, no, lots to do, and it is the end of May, so no time to mess about. But I think it's doable. I really do think it's doable. I'm hoping that it's doable, and I think if you set your mind to something, you can achieve that. So I shall do some comment answering back in Innsbruck. And thank you all very much for watching, for commenting. I have read the comments. Some interesting comments, some things that I think were misunderstood about the meal yesterday. These are just people that I've become friendly with over a while, and they cooked together. It's the equivalent of being invited round for a barbecue. So I don't know why one person in particular got a bee in her bonnet about that. Obviously didn't understand what exactly was going on. The thing to note that some people have noticed, why aren't I showing people? Well, in fact, you'd be amazed that most people don't really want to be filmed and put up on YouTube. So I always ask first, and I only ask once. I'm not going to annoy these people and ask them every week. And I've asked most of the people once, and most of them have said, no, I'd really rather not. So if I do film them, it's sort of in a group from a distance. And I hope that sort of makes more sense now. Okay, well, thank you very much. Bye-bye for now. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the beginning of the return to normality, if that's what's happening, or if you're wherever you are around the world. And if it's not, then hopefully it'll happen soon. Best greetings from a rainy, wet, and still majestically beautiful Tuscany. Thank you and goodbye.